Good stuff from Cousin Sonny, Mosh.
Is that brand new?
Yeah, brand new. Just send it to us.
Man, that is awesome.
Freaking rocks,
awesome.
right? What's up, chat room?
Everybody's there.
All right, it's time for episode number 200. What's I can talk tonight.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I got you.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, look across, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio, hosted by Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brent Musburger, and welcome into episode number 232 of Raiders Fan Radio. We appreciate everybody joining us live here tonight, here in Murph's Fan Cave. What is up, Raider Nation? Appreciate you jumping in and joining us for a lot of celebration tonight. We're going to celebrate the Raiders' big win against the Broncos, and then, of course, we're going to celebrate the great life of one of the absolute all-time Raiders, and that is Coach John Madden on the heels of his passing so sadly. But anyways, we got a lot of good stuff to get to tonight, and I appreciate again you jumping in with us on the YouTube's live. Anybody that's tuning in there at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Hey, we've been stuck at like 3,000 subscribers for a hot minute. If you want to do us a favor, if you're listening to us on the audio version of the podcast, pop over to youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Give us the thumbs up, give us the like, hit the subscribe button, and help us get those numbers up there, please, if you wouldn't mind, because with the higher numbers, we generate more revenue. When we generate more revenue, we give it away to our foundation, which is the One Nation Foundation. So appreciate you very much. Appreciate everybody in there tonight. Storm, Central Cali Bear, Paul, Fargo Raider, Fabricator Gil from the IE. What's up, Gil? Frank from NorCal is in there. Carlos is in there. Seattle Nick, Cool Kev, Michelle Sweat, our good friend, is in there. Ron the Raider, the guy that holds it down in there. Damage Inc., Raider Nation Scotland, Tyrone Graves. Man, so many of our good friends. Kiljadis, King Wrecker. We appreciate you, Lee B, and everyone else that's in the chat tonight. All right, so my name is Murph, but I don't do this thing alone. So let me welcome in the man that adorns the Western Annex of the Murph's Fan Cave desk here, and that is my uncle in real life, Uncle Mosh.
What's up, Murph?
Hey, Mosh, how are you?
Hi, buddy. I was just trying to blow out the speakers. It's been a minute.
Hey, so we missed you last week, but so Merry Christmas, Mosh.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I listened to your selfie. It was, remind me to come over there and smack the shit out of you for saying the F word.
I know,
I
right?
thought I taught you better than that.
Oh, man, I went full potty mouth, man. It came out.
You did. It was just like Michelle all over again. But I got to tell you, Swaggy and I were talking about it before the show started. We were dying. We were cracking up. It was so unexpected. You were on a rant, and I was driving. I almost crashed. I'm driving, and all of a sudden, and I'm like, whoa! That was awesome. I was listening to the podcast. I had to pull over and find it on the YouTube just to look at the expression on your face. I'm like, don't do that. It was worth it one time, but don't do that no more.
Yeah, no, I was feisty, man. Well, they're talking about all these players being out for the Browns, and look, and we had just as many players out, and now we got even more. Because everyone's on the COVID list.
Everyone's on the COVID list.
Yeah, because apparently we got everything from Cleveland. And then, anyways, we'll get to all that later. But before we do, Mosh, tell us who adorns the southern annex of the western annex of the Murph Fan Cave desk.
My little buddy Swaggeroo is over there. Let's give it up one time for Swaggy J.
Yeah. What's up, Swaggo?
Yeah, what's up? I missed you
brother.
guys. That F-bomb that you dropped may have been one of the funniest moments in the show.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I've gotten my ass kicked so many times, and it's it's generated a laugh or two. But it was incredible. It was so much fun.
Man, yeah, that was completely unexpected.
And well, we hang out with Michelle all the time now. She's come over for now two games this season.
Now we're all potty mouth up here in the show.
Well, not all of us.
I don't know. You dropped some S words and stuff.
That was okay.
Yeah.
But
actually, the first Michelle to kick it off was Michelle Murphy. Yeah. So actually, so all Michelles and me are the ones that curse on this show.
I promise, even though Michelle Murphy kicked it off, that wasn't the first time Michelle Sweat ever dropped one.
No, I promise you not. No, and according to her voicemail, certainly not, because I spent about 8 minutes on the edit button going in there and bleeping everything out.
Hey, let me tell you this.
Yes, sir,
I want to say thank you to all the people that sent me birthday wishes. I hit the big 6'3" the other day, and last Wednesday I was feeling a little under the weather, and my wife had been sick, and we were hosting everybody over to the house on the 25th, and the show was up on the 22nd, and so I thought, it'd be better just to stay home. So we did. We kind of hibernated and got everything ready, and made sure that we coughed over all the food we prepared for you guys.
Good, thank you. Yeah,
and I missed it, and I really wanted to be here, but I heard lots and lots of well wishes and happy birthday. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that did that. So
absolutely,
appreciate that.
Absolutely, and Swaggo posted it up on our socials, and I know you got a lot of love there for that as well. So you're 63, so you're officially Gene Upshaw now.
I am Gene Upshaw.
Yeah.
I believe that was one of the ones that I said was one of my top 3 ever.
Absolutely, yeah.
On my Mount Rushmore.
And your other one was just not long ago, too. It says Drunk at 60.
Sis Drunk at 60, yeah.
So 64. So next, that's what, your Paul McCartney birthday, I guess.
Yeah. We don't even want to talk about that. Don't get me started on that.
Uncle Mosh has the best conspiracy theory ever about Paul McCartney.
It might be the only time Kevin and I ever agree on anything.
Nice. My age right now, I've been like living it up.
You're Kenny King right now.
Well, either that or Jack Tatum, because Tatum wore 33 for a minute too.
That's right, he sure did.
31. He wore 31,
32.
Yeah.
So you're right. I am Kenny.
You're Kenny King.
And then, but next year.
Next year strong. Next year, Bo
strong.
Jackson.
I'm Bo. Oh.
Yeah. I don't have anybody to look forward to. Or an O'Neal. I'll take that. 49 next year.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's 48.
Well, last year
I was waiting for the crowd. I know I was
Trent Sig. You were Trent Sig,
and I had Marcel Reese a couple years before that, so I was hanging in there. All right, here we go. Let's get out to this episode. So, my good friend, my best friend in the whole world, and yours too, Swag Jeff, always takes our episode number and ties it back to something significant within Raider Nation. Swaggo, who do you have this week?
Yes, every week I do that, and it's going to be a good one. Episode 232 of Raiders Fan Radio. Each and every week, I take a significant moment in Raider history and relate it back to the episode number. And episode 232, what are you doing, pal?
Keep going, Swag.
Okay, all right. We're going back to October 19th, 1970.
Oh!
Yeah, we're going to be highlighting a game. It's the Raiders in Washington.
Okay.
John Madden's led Raiders are victorious this October night, 34-20. We're going to highlight the leader of the squad, our new best friend, the Mad Bomber, Daryl LaMonica.
Nice.
The Mad Bomber was on fire that night.
Yes, he was.
Tossing 3 touchdowns, including a pair of those to Warren Wells.
Oh, nice. Number 81.
Daryl LaMonica threw for 232 yards that night.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, Jeff.
And you know what's really funny, Swaggy? If you would have had this already done, we could have asked him back in November when we were at that, and he would have been able to tell us.
Oh, exactly.
yeah.
The man is that sharp.
What the weather was that night.
The wind direction, the play right before that. I mean, he really is our new best friend.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was like a fangirl moment for you.
That was huge. No, it was
I've never seen you fangirl.
You don't giddy over people.
I don't get giddy over people, but I can't remember the last time I was giddy.
Yeah,
and the fact that he pulled me aside later and was like still wanting to talk.
Oh my gosh.
You have pictures of that, and it was talk about amazing. The guy was so phenomenal and so sharp and just dead on everything he was saying. It was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
All right, Mosh, let's hit some contact information, and then we'll get to the top of the show.
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation! You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murph would say it, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio.
That makes me laugh every time.
Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio.
The ticky-ticky-tocky-tock.
TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good.
Oh, nice.
We're on tonight. It's been a minute. We're on.
I know, right? Well, so the chat is blowing up. We got all kinds of people in there. Kill Jadis with a $9.99 donation says,
nice.
Speaking of Jack Tatum, I got my wife a Jack Tatum 31 jersey for Christmas and the white jersey with an all-white Raiders hat. Ladies look even sexier in Raiders.
Hey, man, dude, let's go.
Let's
go, Kill Jadis. So I love it. I loved the Jack Tatum. So when I walked into the last game at Allegiant Stadium, when I went and saw with the Washington football team game, I was behind a guy wearing a white Jack Tatum 31 jersey, and I was like, respect, dude. I'm like, that's legit. Like that's one of those if you know kind of jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Like that's money. So who else is in there, Jeff? We got a lot of folks in the chat room.
Yeah, we got Paul is in there. QB Jeff is in there.
Hey, we're just talking about you.
Yeah. Sean Johnson's in there. Matthew Mengus, Lee B. Fabricator Gill is in there. Michelle Sweat's in there. Fargo Raiders in there. Tyrone Graves. Duke City Raiders in there. Let's see. Boss Raiders in there. Seattle Nick. We got the whole crew, man.
Pineapple B.
Oh, aloha, Pineapple.
Oh, nice. And we heard from Pineapple last week.
And Daniel Mengus with a $9.99 donation says, what's up, fam? Go Raiders. Win for the man, the legend, John Madden. 2 weeks to go. We control our destiny.
Come on.
Let's go,
nice
buddy.
way to put it.
Amen. Absolutely. Well, appreciate you all so very, very much. So this is the flagship show you get on our network. This is Raiders Fan Radio. And we also have another show on the network that we would ask you please patronize and check out. We call that Silver and Black Flashback, and that's done by our good friend Rich Schmelter. He's taken some time off during the holidays, but his last episode was episode number 20. Definitely go check that out. It is The Sea of Hands Ends a Destiny. And so speaking of, the most legendary of legendary moments, which we've all been reflecting on since the passing of Coach Madden, that is one of the there's more named games that John Madden has been a part of than any other head coach. And so definitely go check that out. Our good friend Rich, who does an amazing job with his show, Silver and Black Flashback. All right, so here at the top, we'll tell you this. We've got tons and tons of Madden content to get to tonight, and we're going to take that and move it. Normally we do respect and kind of our condolences around things at the top of the show. We're going to move it to the end because we have so much to get to. So just know that, hang in there. We're going to go ahead and jump into like talking about the Raiders-Broncos game. We're going to talk about the upcoming game against the Colts. We want to get to that stuff, and then we're going to do all the Madden on the back end before we get to see a fan. So hang in there with us for that. So Mosh, let's go ahead and hit an audio break, and then let's get into this big win against the Donks.
Here's one of Madden's favorite players.
Nobody enjoyed a good Donnybrook more than sixth-year linebacker Phil Villapiano.
Linebacker, number 41, Phil Villapiano.
This is Phil Villapiano, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
All right, appreciate everybody joining us here tonight for Raiders Fan Radio. So listen, man, we talked about it last week. We actually talked about it for a couple of weeks. Like, people were ready to write off the Raiders. They were ready to say, that's it. The Raider season is done. How much you can't handle anymore. They can't do anymore. They look like crap, yada, yada, yada. Well, all of a sudden now we beat Cleveland. Now we beat the Donkeys in Allegiant, which we haven't been great at Allegiant Stadium at times. So now here we got 2 wins, and now the Raiders control their own destiny on the way out. And it's amazing that we're in this position, considering how down we were. And look, if you can't get encouraged by this last game, then I'm not sure what to tell you. But don't just hear it from me though. But this goes back an extra week. I wanted to feature this last week, but we ran out of time. But listen to the sentiment here behind somebody that's a legendary sportscaster himself, not particularly a Raider fan by any means, but one of the best voices there is in sports broadcasting. Listen to what Rich Eisen has to say about the resiliency of the Raiders.
What more has this team been through and gone through? What more can they go through? Their coach, they come off of it, they have an incredible start to the season, and their coach, poof, is gone. Google it if you need to for John Gruden. I don't think anybody needs to. Henry Ruggs on their bye week gets drunk, gets behind the wheel of a car, kills somebody, going in insane miles per hour. His life is essentially destroyed. He destroys another person's life, and that now rests in the locker room with somebody that they went to battle with and they loved and they were shocked by and they were maybe disappointed by. But all of those emotions needed to be corralled with an interim head coach, and the team swooned. But they show up on Thanksgiving and beat the Dallas Cowboys, and then they swoon again, and then they get a game in Cleveland, one of those must-have games. They showed up to McCarran Airport. They were ready to go. Yeah. They were going through TSA, and they said, turn around.
Wow.
Go home. They're still human beings who had to get on a plane, who had to get out of their routine, and this is a very routinized business, and it looked pretty damn bleak when Derek Carr threw that interception, and they played defense, and they got the ball back, and Carr got him down the field, and Daniel Carlson is nails.
Let's go.
And the Vegas Raiders are still in the mix. They're at 7-7. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a chance.
Yeah. All right. So from 7-7 to 8-7, but I think the sentiment behind what he had to say and the demonstration of that resiliency, and now even more so, like just when you thought you couldn't add another thing into the mix, we lose literally, aside from Al, the most legendary figure in all of Raider Nation. And I guess we'll save more of that, talk about going into the Colts game. But Mosh, talk about that. This game against the Broncos, I know it got a little dicey towards the end there, but man, we saw resiliency, and that's kind of what we've been calling for the past few weeks, right?
It's been a matter of the whole team playing like the whole team. It's not just getting glimpses of a sack here or a good catch here and there or a nice toss here and there, followed by missed tackles, followed by check down, followed by overthrows, followed by interceptions. No, it was putting everything together. Not every game is going to be perfect. There was a few things that went wrong, but there was more things that went right. And I think I texted you on that last throw when it was, because I talked about that last time I was on, and I said, are we not we're not the team to go out there and do a fourth down trick play or this kind of thing. That's not in our makeup, and they proved me wrong. because it was what, 4th and 1.5 or 4th and 2, whatever it was, and freaking Carr throws that little bloop thing over there to Moreau, and boom,
ball game.
You know, and I'm like, yes.
Well,
yes. Nothing's better. Sorry, Jeff. Nothing's better than being proven wrong when it's to my benefit.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Well, that play reminded me of the beginning of the year Raiders. Before the shit hit the fan, you remember the overtime game against Baltimore when everyone expected a run. Everyone was expecting a run. It was on 2nd down or whatever it was. And they threw that little fade to Zay Jones.
Yes.
It was so reminiscent of that. You know, and to see the defense and the offense work together to get the job done, it was a gritty win. You know, obviously we want to blow out the Donks every single time, and at moments it looked ugly. But these are the kind of games that you got to win, and we got it done. It was awesome.
And didn't that seem like that was a million years ago?
Oh my God!
Oh,
you know, I mean, it seemed because this season has been so long.
Well, and you look at the people that have departed the team; it's a different team.
Oh my!
It's just a straight up different team.
Different team, yeah.
You know,
absolutely. Well, and you know what was nice to see about that too is that look, it was an ugly win. Like there was nothing pretty about it.
Right.
But here's the thing, and again, we always reflect on the past around here, anyways, because we're old school Raider fans and we just love the mystique of the Raiders and the history of it. But like that's the way the Raiders used to win. Like I know that kind of it can be a little cloudy for us at sometimes when we look back and we look at all the championships and all the big games and all that. But we weren't blowing people out. We did in that one Super Bowl. We won 38-9 against the Redskins. But like we were dominating. Right. Their games were decisive. But games like the Holy Roller and the Sea of Fans and all that, those were last second ugly ass wins.
Right.
Goes to the post. Like yes, it goes to the post. One of the most famous Raider plays ever. Stabler didn't throw the right ball. It was Casper adjusting to it that made it great. Like, those are the kind of things that you do, that greatness happens and unfolds to win a game.
Yeah, and so, you know, and so these are the kind of games that you want to see because, you know, everyone's been on Derek Carr. They on him, you know, hey man, you know, what the heck, you know, what is this stuff? But now we're going to hear a quote from him in just a moment. It's just win, baby. Let's just win. It doesn't matter how it looks, and it doesn't matter what the stats look like. Just win.
Just win. So this is interesting. So coming off the field, here's what Derek Carr says. This is in the moment. Camera in his face.
Well, again, it wasn't pretty, but I guess we don't care about how it looks. We only care about wins.
All right. So, and we agree, Derek. And look, and this is what... If you don't think that athletes pay attention to social media, look, they do, and they're interested.
100%.
Look, I'm not saying that every fan's opinion carries weight and whatnot, but I think a general sentiment that has gone on in Twitter and otherwise is that, you know, our love-hate affair with that damn thing. But anyways, what Derek realizes is that there's a very distinctive camp that is highly supportive of him, that boasts his stats constantly. Then you have the other camp over here that is highly critical of him. And that camp all the time is shouting down his lack of wins. And what do they always say? Yeah, stats are great. Where's the W's? And we've been guilty of that. And I'm guilty of that. Like, I've done that as well. Where's the damn W's? Mm-hmm. Make the numbers in the column on the left bigger than the numbers in the column on the right. That's all that we really care about. So Derek is responding to that. What was interesting to me is that he proved, and I liked this. I like smart-ass, fiery Derek Carr. Give me red-ass Derek Carr all day long. You know this means something to him because not only did he say it going off the field, but then he had a chance to calm down, to get into the CBS post-game interview. Listen to what he has to say.
Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, you guys certainly like to make these games exciting. Before I get too far into this, I got to ask you about that last play almost on the 3rd and 2 where everybody's expecting you guys to run the ball, and then you throw it to Moreau. Take me through that.
That was a huge play, and, you know, coming in the second half, we had everything we wanted, and we had 2 plays there that we'd obviously would love to have back, but we made it interesting. But anytime you can hit a play like that, win a football game, it feels good.
You knew this was going to be a tough one against this Broncos defense. Playing without Darren, you're playing without Brian. You're, you know, shorthanded, but I want to know how you feel about how this team responds to adversity.
It's been a hard year for everybody on our team, not just me. So for our team, we respond that nobody cares. You know, it's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's not going to be pretty because some things maybe not ironed out as perfectly as they usually are. But who cares, right? All we care about is wins.
And your defense, I have to note, they made the Broncos' run offense actually almost non-existent, 18 yards total. What kind of statement did they make?
It's unbelievable. When you have a great defense, you can win games like this. And we have a great defense that comes up big for us, and they're getting hot right now, and it's awesome. And what a time to do it. Offensively, we got some things we need to work on, obviously, but anytime you can get a win, it doesn't matter how you got it.
Just 2 more games left. You're still in the playoff hunt. After all this team has been through, what would it mean to make the postseason?
Like I said last week, everybody's trying to plan my future and plan everybody else's future in our building, but I don't think we're done yet.
Well, great win, Derek. Congrats.
Appreciate it. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
All right, there we go. So I
love that.
I know, me too. And I didn't cut that off. That was the video that cut off the Merry Christmas. And that to me, like, okay, Mosh, we had a conversation around this a few weeks ago around and you didn't, and fair enough, you didn't want to speculate on where people were at with their mentals and things like that. And that was a very fair point. My point in going into that conversation was it felt like there was something off, that we felt like there was a fire about the team that was gone, or at least missing or lowered, but we understood why. It wasn't an indictment of the team at all. My opinion, it wasn't of Derek, but there was something that was different. Like Jeff said, it feels like now we're kind of climbing back. We're climbing back into what the Raiders were in the beginning of the year. Hunter Renfro also had a quote after the game. Great teams find a way to feed off each other, and our defense has given us the last couple weeks for sure.
I love that. Yeah.
Right? And you hear the same thing from Derek. So, Mosh, what are you feeling now? What do you think about these comments now from Derek and kind of the direction mentally that the team is headed in?
Well, anytime you have adversity, it's going to take some time. It's going to take whether you go through some kind of therapy or whether you go through some kind of internal reflection or whatever it takes. And you couldn't ask for a poster child of a team that has had more diversity in 1 year. So, I don't know. I don't have the answers because I'm not in the locker room, but I do know this, that these are professional athletes and these are guys that have been under the gun for a long time because this season has lasted for 12 years, It's the longest season forever. And it's just like one thing after another, after another, after another. And they're finally, are they figuring it out? I don't know. But in the last 2 weeks, they've showed that will to win that they had seemed to lost for a smidge there, and it seems to be back. And that's the reflection of that is back on the field. You mentioned, and I'll hit it over Swag in a hot second, but you mentioned one of the blowout win of the Super Bowl of the Redskins that we had.
Yeah.
If you go back and you look, that was the trend of Super Bowls. There was a series of Super Bowls from the beginning through, I can't remember which because I'm 63. I just had another revolve around the sun. But Super Bowls were terrible games. There was not a good Super Bowl.
You're right.
There was not overtime Super Bowls. This was before that. Before Super Bowls were Super Bowls. You got to the Super Bowl and there was going to be a clear winner and a clear loser. And so our Super Bowl was usually against Pittsburgh, in the AFC championships. Yeah. So that us having that history of blowouts has never really been there.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Mosh.
Well, and not to change gears, but you talked about Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
I want to give respect to this dude. This guy has been, I think, the most consistent piece of the Raiders the entire season.
Yep.
So you got this week alone, you had Darren Waller out again. You had Brian Edwards out. Damn. So your number one wide receiver is Hunter Renfro.
That's it.
Your slot wide receiver. And this guy is now in very a short list of some of the greatest seasons that a wide receiver for the Raiders has ever had.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. So he has 92 receptions so far on the year.
Dang.
We've got 2 games left. The record for receptions by any player is Darren Waller actually last year.
Oh, right.
Yeah, at 107 receptions.
Wow.
But the record for a wide receiver is 104 by Timmy Brown.
Okay.
So he is third on the list right now in wide receivers. He's tied now at 92 with Jerry Rice, which is elite
crazy
company.
cool.
Yeah.
And so, so what does he need? He needs 12 catches in the next 2 games to be the all-time leading single-season wide receiver in receptions.
Let's go,
And
dude.
he's a kid. And he's a kid.
And he's only going to get better.
He's only going to get better.
I'm going to tell you, this guy's he's going to be with the franchise for a long time, and he's going to be our staple.
I agree, man. That's money, dude. And it would be kind of cool to see him get to the 100 catch. I mean, I know that we're in a 17-game season now, and that's what it's going to be like for the rest of the NFL world.
It doesn't matter.
But it would be kind of cool to when contrasting those stats to see him get to those numbers in 16. That way, it's apples to apples against those other guys. That would be really cool. But yeah, man, incredible stuff there.
But when we're going to talk about Coach later. Coach Madden, of course, and those games that he was coaching were 14-game seasons.
That's very true.
So I don't do the asterisk thing, on that, and it goes back to my issues with Barry Bonds. You do it or you don't. And if he does it. Man, more power to him because he's going to do it again next year.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. All right, so listen, as nice as it was and as well as Renfro's playing, Derek had some struggles. We know that we've talked numerous times about the ball security and things like that. And look, I mean, everybody knows about all that stuff, so I'm not going to sit around here and beat up on Derek Carr because we won the freaking game. Like, if we had lost this game, probably have a different sentiment, a different story coming from us. But look, at the end of the day, Derek helped get our offense in a position to win the football game, and as Mosh said earlier, threw the game-winning pass. The end. So we're not going to sit around and beat up on Derek. What I will tell you, though, is that at times when I have beat up on Derek because of a loss, I've said, well, there isn't any good stats for me to go over, so these are the bad stats. So we got them. We got good stats. And we're not
I love a good stat.
And we're not even going to go to the...
Is that what the kids call it?
I love a good stat.
I love a good stat. You love to see a good stat, Jeff.
What's the commercial? They go, stat that. Isn't that what they say during the games?
The Amazon commercial.
Yeah, the Amazon. Yeah, stat that.
All right.
Stat that.
Oh, we need to get that. We're going to get a soundbite of you guys going, stat that.
Okay, cut it.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Stat that.
It sounds almost like sad sack.
Oh, it does.
So what I'll do is that, okay, so every time I read a stat, then you guys say,
stat that.
Yes. Okay, ready? Going in, Raiders had 21 sacks in the first 8 games of the season, tied for 5th most. They had, going in, 8 sacks in the last 6 games, tied for 3rd fewest.
Stat that.
But what the Raiders did in response was in the last 6 games on defense against the Donkeys, they held the Donkeys to a 3-and-out on 4 plays, a field goal, and only 4 yards. A touchdown, a 22 yards of offense on a drive that ended in a punt, 6 plays that ended in a missed field goal, and then 7 plays that ended in 19 yards and a punt.
Stat that!
In total, that is 23 plays for only 76 yards per play and only 4 first downs all game.
Stat that!
The Raiders' defense finished with 18 pressures led by Quentin Jefferson, who had 7, including 1 sack and 6 hurries in 30 snaps.
Stat that!
Yannick Ngakoue in the last 2 games, here you go, Capo, has 48 pass rush snaps and 2 pressures. Cleveland Farrell, however, 10 pass rush snaps.
E to the R to the R to the E to the L to the L. It ain't Farrell.
And 3 pressures.
Stat that!
KJ Wright needs 15 tackles to become the only 3rd active player in the NFL with 1,000 career tackles.
Stat that!
The Raiders were on the field for 40 defensive plays on Sunday against the Donkeys, the lowest for any team in the season.
Stat that!
Last, the Raiders had lost 55 games when turning the ball over 3 times and scoring 17 or fewer points on Sunday. The previous win was over the Chargers in 2001. Before yesterday, NFL teams had a .037 win percentage in those situations in the last 10 seasons.
Stat that!
Let's effing go, Raiders!
Let's go, man. But you know what?
Good job, guys.
But you know what? The only stat that we care about is the W.
I thought you were going to say the scoreboard.
No, well, yeah, but seriously, those are all awesome and great. But as we all said, we just want to win.
Seriously.
That's the most important stat. 1-0 on the weekend. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So we get to 9-8. Okay. Somebody I know that adorns the Western Annex of the Murph's Fan Cave.
We don't want 9-8 because we're.
Because someone said we were going to be 10-7 to make the playoffs.
Stop. You're killing me right now. If you and I were at a baseball game right now, I'd slap the dog snot out of you. You got a pitcher on the mound.
Okay.
He's throwing a no-hitter. It's the 7th inning, and you're going to want to talk about it?
Okay, fair enough. I'll just say that pitcher would be named Mostradamus.
Thank you very much. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
This is Trent Sig, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murph, Swag Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Just win, baby.
All right, so speaking of stats, too, look, go to...
You mean like what? How Rico thinks of them? Rico says, you know what I think about those stats?
What's that?
Shove it, you know where. Come on, Rico.
All right, hey, speaking of the chat, Storm is in there, Erica is in there, Chris Gang is in there, Raiderborn Rico, of course, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, our capo is in there, the Big Easy Rogue Code, Seattle Nick is in there, Mac Bud is in there, Fabricator Gill, Storm, did I say Storm?
Yes,
Fargo Raider is in there, so many of our good friends, Jeff Murphy, of course, the proprietor of the best deli there is in Middle Tennessee, and and in Central California as well. We appreciate Jeff and the Domenico's crew, which, speaking of Domenico's, that's where my kid's working right now.
Yeah, I know.
Vinny's at work.
Hey,
yes.
Jeff, did I tell you that Vinny's bringing me a sandwich?
Yeah. Mosh lobbied for Vinny's shift meal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're kidding.
What'd you get?
I cheated him out of it. We worked the deal. I'm getting a Soprano.
Oh.
I'll give you half.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cut me off a slice.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about this Colts game. So going into this Colts game, what do you got to do late in the season and in the playoffs to win? You got to run the football, play defense. It's even in this crazy ass version of the NFL that we're in, where everything is hyper focused around the passing game. Everything is in favor of the quarterbacks. Everything is in favor of the wide receivers. It's still, at the end of the season, every year, what do you see? You see pocket quarterbacks with great running backs and awesome defenses. That's who wins. And I don't dislike the version of the NFL and the high-powered offenses and the dynamic players that we have seen. But what ultimately wins championships is those types of things. All that said, what are we doing well right now? Well, we just highlighted how great the defense is playing. And then, guess what? This guy that I will say but I'll own it myself, kind of gave up on a few weeks ago, Josh Jacobs, who was, one of the bright standouts of our draft in 2017.
19.
That's what I meant to say. Thank you, Jeff. The guy that was like, okay, this was a good pick. This was a surefire guy. Showed so much consistency in his career. And now this season, man, it's like, where did he go? Well, now against the Donkeys, Josh Jacobs goes for 129 yards on 27 carries. And don't you know this, Swag Jeff? The Raiders are 11-3 when Josh Jacobs carries 20 times or more. The first time he's done this, which he did on Sunday, that's the first time he's done it since Thanksgiving. What do you see? To me, I'll just give you my quick opinion, then I'm going to throw it to you guys for your opinions on the game going against Colts. What I just detailed out, run the football. Josh Jacobs gets going, gets the pushes up front, and we get the same kind of defensive pressures that we got against the Donkeys. To me, we can go into Indianapolis and win this freaking game.
Well, it makes or breaks the game. When you have to have the defense keep him honest, then it opens up everything. So when Josh Jacobs gets going, it all opens up and everything gets going. So, it was good to see him have a good game because a couple weeks ago, he called out the team and said, we need to come out ready to go. I don't know why it takes a big play for us to do whatever. And then what does he do? He hands the ball off to the Chiefs guy on the first friggin' play of the game. And I think did he fumble the ball this week? Did he lose a fumble or almost lose a fumble?
Him and Derek both fumbled. Yeah.
But the running back is the key to the game, and so
in this offense, that's
that's what it is. So, and really in any offense, you get a running game going a little bit and it opens up everything.
Absolutely. And it opens it up too defensively because it was unique. We went through all those stats. The defense was on the field for 40 plays, Mosh. they're not getting gassed. We're not like they're not our offense is sustaining long drives, allowing these guys to stay rested. So when they come in, you got guys like Max and Yannick, like they're fresh. They're coming in. Their ears are pinned back, as they say.
So, we were talking about Jacobs. We were talking about Carr, and we were talking about what we were thinking that the team was lacking something, that the team was not dealing with their adversity, the team was not stepping up. But obviously, what I said earlier is that things clicked against the Donkeys. LA clicked against Cleveland, but they really clicked for 2 weeks in a row. Yes. And it's like when we coach something, and you and I have all coached. Jeff, you helped me coach a couple of years right after you got out of school. When you do something and you do it well, you say, wow, okay, that play worked. That was great. Now let's do it again and make sure it's not a fluke. Right. Let's do it a third time and make sure that we just didn't get lucky the second time. And that's what 2 wins in a row is telling me, is that, okay, so we're getting over. They're not pretty wins, but they're W's. Needless to say, they're W's, and we need 2 more. I'm the guy that said, I don't think we have the team that can win out, that could win 4 out, okay, to make my prediction come true. But prove me wrong again. I'll be the first to admit it. I love that. Let's see if we can do it a third time. It's gonna be tough because the Colts ain't a bunch of slouches. And that's something we need to think about. It's gonna, and we're gonna talk about them coming up here in a minute, but it's going to be and I think we got the right mindset coming off of 2 victories going into to this Colts game. It's going to be a dogfight for sure.
I agree, Mosh, and you're right. And one of the things that they do so well. And, look, there was a lot of Colts that went on the COVID list early on. There was even speculation they could have their entire offensive line on the COVID list. Well, they got them back today, and they got some good ones. Quentin Nelson and whatnot. Like, they have some.
Because the NFL has said any team playing the Raiders only has to be on COVID for 4 hours. The Raiders have to be on for a month.
Yeah.
But just the teams that we play, it's 4 hours, and you drink some vitamin C and you're good.
And Darren Waller, in the meantime, is on the COVID IR.
He's on the COVID IR till 2026.
Till 2026.
Yeah.
But talk about, what are the Colts do well is run the football, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about Josh Jacobs getting going. We need to get him going. Well, that's what we're going to have to stop on the other side of the ball, because Jonathan Taylor is having an elite season. He's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. If it weren't for
Derrick Henry getting hurt, Derrick Henry would be the best, but Jonathan Taylor is now, showing that he can ball as well. And so this guy, he's leading the league in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. He's gone for 100 yards in 6 of the last 7 games. I mean, that's an unreal stat if you want to stat that.
Stat that.
And he's a young guy. He's 22 years old, so he's gritty and he wants to play and he's pounding and he's doing all the right stuff. So our defensive line, it's time to step up.
Yeah.
The linebackers, it's time to step up. Is Perryman back?
Well, he got put on the list early, right?
Yeah. So because he didn't play on Sunday.
No. But was he on the COVID list too? I don't know. I don't even know. There was so many many of them that went on.
But we need him back. We need him to put Jonathan Taylor on his ass.
Absolutely. And then you mentioned the guys up front, like Jefferson and Solomon. Like those guys are playing great right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And stepping in with Hankins going down, like stepping in, like.
Well, who did Nick Chubb play against Cleveland?
For Cleveland? Yeah.
For Cleveland? He wasn't on a COVID list or anything like that?
No, he was their only highlight. He killed us. Yeah. He ran for 100 and some odd yards.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He killed us.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter because we won. You know what I mean? But the defensive line has been, stout this year.
Absolutely.
It's been solid this year.
Absolutely.
So, do it for John.
Absolutely.
Q-Dog was saying that he's about sick of the media gushing over the Colts. And
they're kind of darlings right now, aren't they?
And they have always gushed over the Colts.
I can't wait for them to not make the playoffs.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
I can't wait.
All we got to do is win out, guys. That's all we got to do is win this thing. We could make the playoffs at 9-8. There's room in there for us to do that. And I said that the Raiders were 9-8 earlier. That they're not. They're 8-7. But so the Raiders could still make the playoffs at 9-8. But that's one of those scenarios where we need like all these other things to happen. So we don't want that. We want to. If we win out, we win 2 games. That's it. We are in. And don't you damn know. And I don't want to look past the Colts game. And this has been fun discussion around the Colts game. But we're gonna be in Vegas for the game against the Chargers. And for a long time, we've been saying, heck, this could be the game for the division. Well, it may not be for the division, but don't you damn know this might be a game for the playoffs, Mosh. Holy crap. How cool would it be to see that firsthand to see the freaking Raiders take out the Chargers in Vegas to make their first freaking playoff appearance since 2016. Derek Carr's first ever to start in, first ever for the Vegas Raiders. I mean,
and to shut the media up about Justin Herbert.
You
know what I mean? Let's not forget who the Chargers are. Chargers are going to Chargers.
Oh, my God.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, call out everybody that's going to be there with us.
Oh, my gosh. So we are going to have so many of our good friends there. So, man, okay. So Mosh and I are going, and we're gonna sit with our good buddy Trinidad, who was so kind to help us get tickets to the game. We're going to sit with Trinidad and his crew, which is amazing. You've heard us talk about them before. We're going to link up with Fabricator Gil in the IE and his family in one of the tailgates as well before we go. But we are not going to be there attending alone. We're going to have cousin Sonny will be there. Kevin the Raider Nerd and Sonny are hanging out together.
They're sitting together, right? They got two seats together.
Michelle Sweat and her husband Lamont are going, and they're going to be sitting with each other. And then Capo is going, and he's hanging out with Fabricator Gil.
Yes.
Like, it's like a RFR elite crew going on, man. It's going to be so amazing. Cannot wait. And if you are listening to this, and I didn't mention your name, reach out to us. Hit me up, murph@RaidersFanRadio.com. Send me an email, and because we're going to have a busy day. We're going to be all over the place. We're going to see numerous tailgates. We got to go to the Black Hole. We got to go to Trinidad's. We're going to go to Gil. We want to get in to see hopefully Comp. Shout out the boy. Poor guy's on a damn COVID list, and hopefully he'll get back for this game. But hopefully he'll make it back to be able to play in the first home game for him at Allegiant. Anyways, we got to get down to the field and shout out our boy Will Compton. So we're going to be all over the place. It's going to be a busy day, but if you're going to the game, and I didn't mention your name, hit me up, murph@RaidersFanRadio.com.
Yeah, let us know, because we'll either start a one of those group me's or
Kevin's
whatever.
already does that for us.
Okay, he's already done that. Because we will be there. We're leaving Friday the 7th.
Yes.
And we'll be there. So we're there Friday. We're open Saturday. Sunday's the game. And we're open Monday. We're not flying out till Tuesday.
We're going to have a long
yeah,
weekend.
So anybody else have money they can loan us, let us know right away.
Loan money to Mosh so he can loan it to me.
I was about to say Murph will be out by Sunday or by Friday night.
Yeah, well, Friday afternoon is the last thing. And he doesn't do well in the Vegas airport.
Oh, my gosh.
Good thing they don't have a craps table at the airport.
Oh, that would be the best.
I'm the only guy that ever has lost whatever amount of money in the Vegas airport. I'll just say that. What a dumbass.
6 trips to Vegas in the last 5 months, and you lose all your money in the Vegas airport because you didn't want to spend $8 on a bagel.
Hey, let's just say that Wheel of Fortune machine is highly underrated in terms of addiction. All right, Raj, let's hit a break, and then let's talk about Coach Madden.
I love this guy.
This is Trent Sig, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murph, Swag Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Just win, baby.
All right, appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Mosh, you got the chat open there? Who do we got in the chat tonight?
Oh, man, we got Trace Lord, we got Fargo Raider, Aaron the Q-Dog, Lee B, Foxy Scorpio, Raider Bonrico, Michelle Sweat, Tyrone Graves, Ron the Meta Raider, Super Deuce, Fabricator Gil, Tyrone, and I'm sure Ebony's in there as well. I'm trying to scroll up and see. Let's see, Jack Kenna's in there, Chevy Silver Raiders in there, Paul. Rogue Code is in there. Who am I forgetting? Man, if I forgot you, I apologize. Storm is in there. Chronicles of the Black Hole is in there. Jack Kenna. Erica S. is in there. Mac Bud is in there. Wyoming Raider. Everybody's in there. Seattle
man.
Nick. Man, they are all in there, and the problem is that they have not hit the like button or the dislike button.
Hit them all.
Hit all the buttons. Hit all them buttons.
I love it. Ron says the Wheel of Fortune machine paid for 47% of the operating costs of the airport.
Nice. Did you shout out Samoan Raider in there?
Samoan,
what's up, buddy?
What's up, Samoan? Our good
I finished
Samoan
finished last in our league.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
I don't want to talk about it. Well, so tell
them about the league and then what happened.
Yeah, so the league. So I got my draft advice.
Who's in the league, Jeff?
Well, it's everybody. It's Samoan and Kenny King Jr.'s in
content
there.
creators.
It's content creators. Yeah. So you got Graf is in there, and Samoan, and Kenny, and Honcho's in there. Mikey's in there. That other guy's in there. It's so cool. It's so much fun. But I got my draft advice from Murph. Who only drafts?
I'm awesome at fantasy
well,
football.
we all want you to win because all you do is draft Raiders. You draft all Raiders, and then at the end, when there's nothing left, you'll draft Aaron Rodgers if he's available,
and then bench him.
Yeah, and then bench him all year, which he balled out for you last week on the bench.
Oh, did he? Oh, good.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, so I took that advice, and so I finished last. And I lost to Kenny King, who quit paying attention to the league in like week 5. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I did my lineup. I did all the drop ads and all that kind of stuff.
You did?
Yeah, and I lost by like 40 points.
Oh, Jeff, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Now, are you part of the RFR league? Because we have an RFR league that's run by Greg, caller Greg in Tennessee.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not.
You're not in that one?
No, I'm not in that.
I know Capo and a handful of other people are in that league.
Yeah, for sure.
And Capo talks about that on his call about the RFR league. And
that's Samoan says I got your award for being last. It'll go perfect in the fan cave.
Deal.
Can't wait for that.
Oh, that's the deal. Samoan, I got a perfect spot for right there behind Swag Jeff, man.
It's right
we will
there.
proudly display his last place trophy.
If we do the league again, I'll draft for real.
Well, hey, no, you got to represent. Better to lose with all Raiders than to win with a Chief, Jeff.
Okay, well then I'm not going to draft Derek Carr.
It's whatever. I don't care. You can draft Nathan Peterman again. I don't care. Just you're not going to freaking. You got to represent
this year I drafted,
something. Listen,
I drafted
Jeff,
all 3 Raider quarterbacks this year. I drafted Derek, Marcus, and Nate Peterman.
Jeff, the brand is bigger than the standings. Okay, you do it for the name on the back, on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. Okay. You're in this right. Raider thing. It's Raider thing, and no joke. You're in it for life.
Hey, that's it, man.
So you just draft Raiders and you take your loss like a man.
And don't look at the scoreboard.
Exactly. As long as we're out there having fun, right?
Yeah, you had a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, I did.
So look at Samoan's going to send you something to put in your shot there. Mosh, what are you doing over there? Just having some candy?
I was laughing so hard I was coughing, so I needed one of these.
Oh, okay, all right. Go ahead, chew it into the thing there. So there you go. ASMR.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting the tingles.
Okay,
welcome to the quiet
I was
storm.
He texted me like.
Tell him, Swag.
What did you text me on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas or something like that?
I had to go into work for a couple minutes.
Hey, what's those videos with the sounds with the crinkling and stuff? What is it? AMSR, SRMA, or what is it? And I'm like, and that was it. And that was our conversation.
I was sitting there with my bosses, right? My 2 big bosses were sitting there, and I'm retired, and I don't care. And they're great, and I work for these wonderful people. And I was sitting there, and I did something. And I went,
oh, jeez.
And they go, stop that! That's a horrible noise. And I go, no, that's ARMSR. And they go, what the hell are you talking about? And I go, it's that noise thing, and it creates a soothing little vibe thing. And
you get the tingles in your brain.
It's like crinkle paper, and they're like, you are stupid. What are you talking? I go, no, it's a real thing. So I was saying the wrong letters and everything. So I texted Jeff, and he helped me out, and he kept me working.
Okay, good deal.
Nice.
All right, let's hit a break and talk about Coach Madden.
Hi, this is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
All right, appreciate everybody jumping in here for episode number 232 of Raiders Fan Radio. So, yeah, kind of a somber note, as everyone is highly aware of, we lost the legendary John Madden. And, we were talking about it before the show about what was so amazing about Madden was his ability and his success that he drove in everything that he ever did. He was not only an iconic coach, he was an iconic broadcaster, he was an iconic creator, he was an iconic marketer. Mosh was telling us a little bit about his real estate ventures. I mean, and about the heights that he reached in that. Like, literally, everything the guy ever did was amazing, and it was beyond success. Even it was just to a highly celebrated and always unique level too, which is what was so amazing about Coach. we could do an entire show about John Madden. We practically have in the past, but we want to focus on tonight, being we're Raiders Fan Radio. We want to focus on John Madden's coaching career with the Raiders and the absolute legendary career that it was, and frankly, unprecedented still to this day. His 10-year coaching career is unmatched, and this is in a world where Bill Belichick exists and Bill Walsh and Parcells and people that aren't just named Bill. Like, there's a lot of like incredible coaches that have come through the NFL, and some of the things that Madden did likely will never be attained again. And so we want to celebrate that and what's the consequence of what his career was to the Raiders. Everything, please, Mosh, jump in here and talk a little bit about what Madden meant to Raider Nation.
So Madden meant to football fans in general two different things. By the time Madden became the head coach of the Oakland Raiders at the age of 32, he was the youngest head coach ever. Coached for 10 years with an unbelievable record. That would be for StatDat sometime in the future, but definitely the GOAT. And in 10 years, when he retired at 42 years old from coaching football, there are many, many, many men who have coached who never got the opportunity to be a head coach at 42 years old. So this man retires from coaching at 42 years old, dies at 85, which means that he lived an entire nother life, 43 more years, and arguably became more famous in that next 43 years, the second half of his life, than he ever did in the first half, because there are young football fans who don't realize that the game they play constantly, Madden, was all about and was brought on by this guy who came to prominence because of that 10 years that he had as head coach of the Raiders. They don't know about those Raiders in that 10-year period. Maybe they do, but they hadn't lived it like I had. Madden quit coaching 10 years before Swaggy was born.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but Swaggy's a huge football fan, always has been, but knows Madden, knows the game, knows the sportscaster, knows all the stuff about, you know, not flying and having the train that he always took, or the bus that he always took. The same bus that when 9/11 happened, he was at an event with Peggy Fleming, the ice skater, and gave her his bus to get her home to Alameda because she couldn't, because the airlines were shut down.
Right.
You know, just little stuff like that. People don't know the things about Madden. Madden, when he retired, he said, I gave it everything I have, and I just don't have anything left. When asked if he would ever coach, he said, no, I'm retiring from football coaching, and I'm never going to coach again in my life. This type of thing is easy to talk about. It's never easy to do. I'm an Oakland Raider. I will always be an Oakland Raider, and I never respected people who moved around from team to team. Loyalty has always been an important thing and a trait of mine, and it will continue to prevail. If that doesn't say what the type of man that Madden was, then I don't know what defines a man, because the guy understands it, especially, you know, when we talk about La Familia and we talk about our family, our number one thing is loyalty.
Absolutely.
You know, you and I may have a discussion one day, and I may tell you, don't do it. And you come to me the next day and you say, I did it. And I say, okay, I'll go get a shovel and we'll help you bury the body. But that's loyalty. And that's the kind of guy, you know, and I'm having some fun with that. But that's what he stood for. That's what kind of guy that he was.
Yes.
And people get that, you know.
And he stuck to it. It's one thing to say to it. Like, how many times have we heard coaches retire and then come back.
Right.
Urban Meyer or freaking, I don't know, Dick Vermeil, like whatever.
That last guy we had.
Right?
You know?
The long list of coaches that retire and then ultimately come back. Madden did not, and then went on to levels of greatness at everything else that he touched.
Everything
afterwards.
he touched, and it was because of that. It was because of his work ethic. He put everything he did into everything he did.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and it was phenomenal. You know, I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if I ever said it on the air or not. But your grandmother met him on a train.
Yeah,
I've heard that
Tell
story.
the story.
I love that story.
Yeah. You know, my ma, and that man she was married to, not my dad, but that other guy. They were on their way to get married in Chicago, and they ran into Madden on a train. He was on a train from the same train from Denver to Chicago, and they went up and they introduced themselves, and she said, "Oh yeah, you know, we're from the Bay Area, and you know, my sons are Madden, you know, or Oakland Raider fans, and blah blah blah." And he was so gracious, and he sat down with them and he talked with them and everything. And he was wearing the Super Bowl ring, you know. And John, her husband, said that you couldn't believe how big this man was. And then his hands were just phenomenal. They were just like pie plates, you know. And he had that huge ring on, and they said, "Well, that's really cool. You know, where are you getting off?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm getting off in Chicago." And they go, "Well, so are we. We're going to get married. You want to come stand up for us?" And he's like, "Man, I got a thing to do, or I would." You know, I mean,
God.
he was just,
which was called the Chicago Bears game, probably.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. I don't know. He's just.
He's an icon, man.
know?
And, you know, one of the things that made him so unique, obviously, was his coaching style. It was the way that Madden brought his unique style to everything that he did, but especially in terms of coaching. Let's check in. I've got a few audio clips here, and let's listen to this. This is amazing, man. It's narrated by Pat Summerall. Like, this is like ear gold to a Raider fan.
John Madden always spelled victory. He never had a losing season. Won 100 games faster than anyone, and was Coach of the Year as a rookie.
Let's start off and stay after the whole game.
John's methods were unorthodox. While everyone else was imposing Lombardi discipline, he scrapped the Raiders' dress code, let his players sit on helmets, and encouraged individual expression.
I didn't have a lot of rules because I saw some of the teams and the rules they had that didn't make any sense. That didn't have anything to do with winning or losing. You know, if you're going to have some rules, you better, you know, just have a few of them, and they better be simple so that they all understand them, and they better follow them. So the three rules that I had was, you know, be on time, pay attention, and number three was play like hell when I tell you to.
Go.
The Raiders unleashed hell for John.
You gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
Football's boy wonder gave Oakland a bad boy attitude.
Here's a flag. Davidson and Taylor are going at it. There's a big pile-up. Here come all the Raiders. Holy Toledo, it's a free-for-all.
People said that, you know, we had renegades, but they were my renegades, so I didn't think they were renegades. I never sat around and said, boy, I got a lot of renegades here. Maybe it's, you know, about your kids or something. Maybe they were my kids, and, you know, my kids never smell.
I love that sentiment. And you know what? And this is what I'm going to throw it to you, Swag Jeff. One of the things I think is so amazing about Coach Madden is that whenever look, we're sports guys, we're football guys. Whenever you can take a lesson that is within sports and you can apply it to real life, I think it's some of the most unique things and one of the most special things and gifts that sports gives us. I use those three rules with my kids, with my two boys.
Right on.
I use those rules. Be on time, be accountable is essentially what that is. You know, play like hell when I tell you to. When it's time to go, it's time to freaking go. You know what I mean? And like, so those simple three rules that John Madden laid out there, like it transcends, it goes so way beyond. So for somebody like you who, like Mosh said, Madden's retired 10 years before you're even born, those are the kind of things that your generation pulls from him, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I mean, and he carried that with him through all of his professions that he did. You know, I mean, when it was time to go, it was time to go. You know, I mean, as a commentator, as a video game thing, you know, as doing the commercials. I think Mosh said he was in real estate. Like, he did everything, and you know, but he was football. You know, no matter what he did, it was all football. You know, one of my favorite clips that I ever saw of him was the first episode of Hard Knocks. At the end of that episode, you remember that when you're doing all that drive, yes,
yes,
on the sled. Like, that's one of my favorite things that I've ever seen of John.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, and so just the amount of intensity and intention.
Yeah, I mean, he was long retired from, you know, announcing and doing all this stuff. He's an old man standing on this stuff, but like, you know, reminiscing like it was yesterday and stuff like that. It was just, that's so cool, man.
Absolutely, man. I love it. And again, those three rules, and you know, of course, and I think I failed to mention the pay attention portion of it. But yeah, just like, you know, have a self-awareness, like do your job, right? Like, you hear it phrased so many different ways in today's NFL and today's sports culture. But man, it's Coach Madden drilled it all the way down. Mosh, you always used to talk about that, about like how there are all these, you know, and as a lifelong coach yourself, there's all these extraneous things that you can come up with. There's all these extra rules that you can come up with. But like Madden says, none of those things ever helped anybody win a football game. Nope. Wearing a necktie on an airplane or not sitting on your helmet helped you win. Right. And you applied a lot of that to your coaching style.
I did. You know, and there was times when, you know, I coached wrestling, in addition to everything else that I coached. And there was times when my guys would say, Coach, we want to get these new tights. And they're really cool. And at the time, my team was the Patriots, and so I said, "Well, what are they?" Well, they're like a red, white, and blue. They're kind of like, and I'm like, done. But if we do it, we're all doing it. They're like, done. So you know, it was like, did that help us win anymore? No, but it was cool, and it was something. Was it one of those things that I could do for these guys to make them run through a wall for me? Yeah. You know, and that's the thing that Madden did.
Yes.
You know, you want to sit on your damn helmet, sit on your helmet. Just get out there and knock somebody else's helmet off.
That's it.
You know?
Amen.
Truth.
But you know, and that's the thing. He understood the psyche of the player. And when you understand the psyche of the player, you can take that and you can mold that into, take these misfits, this gang of knuckleheads, if you will, and make them all have a common goal to win. Man.
Absolutely. And so speaking of that, so let's talk a little bit about Madden's style on the field. And this is great. So we're going to check back in with some Pat Summerall stuff here and hear about Coach on the field doing exactly what Mosh just described.
John was a renegade on the sidelines. In an era dominated by stoic, emotionless coaches, he shattered all the unwritten rules for sideline decorum.
You know, I used to sometimes watch highlights and see myself, and I'd say, geez, I'm not that guy. That's not me. And it was like, you know, like I had a walking around me, and I had a coaching me. And they were two different guys, and I don't know that they ever met each other.
I love that. But just that embracing the renegade nature of his team. And, you know, if I could tell a story that's yours, Mosh. So Uncle Mosh, one of his teams that he coached, there was another coach from another sport that referred to his team as, oh, why don't you go over there with Coach Salty in the fun club? And what did Mosh do is instead of rebelling against that and you know what I mean, and fighting against that idea, instead he had shirts made up for the whole team that said the Fun Club. And that's what the Raiders of the 70s were. They were the freaking Fun Club, man. Yeah. And Madden embraced that and allowed that to breathe and allowed these guys to have their individuality. But under this, you've got the reign of Al Davis. So you have this incredibly large, imposing figure over Madden and that loomed constantly. And he was accused a lot of times of being a puppet for Al Davis, just like Tom Flores was, just like John Gruden, anybody else that ever coached under Al Davis. Listen to what John Madden had to say about working with Al Davis and, quote, being a puppet.
Unable to reconcile his phenomenal success and unconventional methods, some suggested he was a puppet, and Al Davis was pulling the strings.
Well, it's an excellent rumor, but unfortunately it isn't true. John Madden coaches our football team. In 1969, when John was appointed head coach, my role with the Oakland Raiders changed from one of direction. I used to direct the football team, even though I was the owner and not coaching, to one of assistants.
There was no one between Al and I. Al Davis never once turned down anything that I ever wanted. We were the first ones to have mini camps. We were the first to film practice. We were the first to do a lot of things that, now, it sounds like, well, that's normal. That's the way you do it.
Which is incredible. So you're not only talking about this guy is innovative with his coaching style, but the methods in which he coach with are innovative. No wonder that it led them to so many victories in such an unprecedented record. You've got some of the stats there, Mosh. Talk a little bit about what Madden's career looks like and culminated.
Okay, so without running the risk of being a stat kind of guy, he posted a regular season record of 103 wins, 32 losses, and 7 ties.
Unbelievable.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
And of course, we don't have ties now, as much. You'll see 1 or 2, but coaches will go. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Okay, so 6 times in those 10 seasons that he was there, Oakland recorded 10 or more victories. Now remember, this is a 14-game season. In 1976, they had a 13-1 record to win the AFC division. That was one shy of the perfect season. For that. The stuff that they did when they, of course, everybody knows that they beat Minnesota in Super Bowl 11. But they won. They went on between 1976 and 1977. They actually won 17 games in a row, and it was one short of the NFL record for consecutive seasons,
which was Miami's 18-0.
Correct.
The year they went undefeated. Yep.
So they were right on the precipice of having all these modern day records, and this is the era when Oakland was the winningest professional sports team in all of sports history. Okay, of course, it failed after that, but at that point, they had that and that's not even on here. That's just something I know. So this is great. He had a 44-11-5 record versus the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers.
Love that. That's one of my favorites.
759 win percentage for the Raiders is the best by any coach ever in 100-plus games. He had winning records against Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Hank Stram, Paul Brown, Sid Gilman, Bud Grant, and Marv Levy. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. Those are all Hall of Fame coaches.
All Hall of Fame coaches in 10 seasons. Winning records against all of them. 103, 32-7 regular season record.
Unbelievable.
I mean, no doubt that he was there and for the Hall of Fame. When he at 42 years old, when you retire, when you arguably kind of a Sandy Koufax thing, walk away at the top of your game.
Sure.
And did it, and then went on to have that next life.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
So one of the things that I love about Madden, and I love about his career, like we've talked a lot about, and is really celebrated amongst all of Raider Nation, is about all the things that Al Davis did that were so innovative, right? The Maverick and the installation of the Raiders mystique and the marketing of the team and all crafting basically the vision of what the Raiders were. But a great leader is a great leader, but the first great follower is equally as important. And Madden crafted and followed in Al Davis's vision and built a lot of it on his own. And frankly, I don't think it's enough credit for and we've said that numerous times here, Madden doesn't get enough credit for building the Raiders mystique, because Al had the message, but then you got to have the guy to follow it up with. You got to have the guy that's in the press conference. You got to have the guy that's boots on the ground. And that was Madden. And listen to what his strategy was. Again, go back to that, the story I told about Uncle Mosh, where if somebody presents you with a thing, can you repel it? Or can you embrace it? And listen to this of what Madden's comments were about dealing with, how's this, Raider fans.
Tell everyone to stay in the ground and get up slow.
John was always scheming for an advantage and wasn't above using misperceptions of his relationship with Davis to wage psychological warfare on opponents.
We used to be blamed for watering down the field. The Coliseum in Oakland was below sea level, so the field would always be wet. So at first, you want to fight back. No, okay, we don't water down the field below sea level and all that stuff. I'm not baloney. If they want to believe that, just tell them, yeah, we water it down. I told Hank Stram one day, I said, Hank, I said, you'll notice the field's wet. I said, we watered it down. And I told the guys I just wanted like 3 or 4 hours on. They went to lunch. They left it on 8 hours. I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. And then he goes, I know it's not you, John. It's that damn Al. So I said, this is a pretty good deal. I can do whatever I want. I mean, I can really be a jerk, and they'll blame Al for it. Another time, we were at a league meeting, and they were complaining about the fans behind the visiting bench. They're wild and they're too close and they need better security. Well, again, they blame Al for that. Like Al handpicked people and put them there. So when I stood up to talk about it, I said, you guys are right. Every game we play, I worry about the visiting team. You guys just getting out of there, just getting out alive. And it is a dangerous situation. And when you come to play there, you have to live with that. Now we'll try. As an organization, we'll try and straighten it out for you. But I can't guarantee anything.
I freaking love that.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. That's so, that's like the most Raider thing I've ever heard.
When you build a house, you got to have an engineer.
Yeah.
Okay?
There you go. Right.
And that was Al, was the engineer. And then you got to have a foreman over your crew, and that was Madden. And then you have the guys that pound the nails, and that was the
gang of misfits.
And that was the gang of misfits that were hammering, or actually they were probably shooting each other with nail guns. But that's it. That's where it is.
Yeah, and so the leader of that gang of misfits, of course, is Snake. There's no mystery there that Madden and Kenny Stabler's careers were uniquely tied. There's a reason that John Madden was the one that posthumously inducted Kenny into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And the relationship between Kenny and Madden, again, was unique. What's interesting about Kenny is that he played for some of the most legendary coaches in the history of football. He played for Bear Bryant in Alabama.
Right.
Plays for John Madden. Plays for Bum Phillips twice. Once in Houston and then, of course, in New Orleans where he ended his career. But listen to the reverence that Stabler talks about Madden. And this is the first time we featured this clip on the show. And, look, Kenny's my all-time favorite player, and I know many of yours as well. And this is really cool, man. This is again, a new clip, and it just really kind of on the heels of Madden passing. And, of course, Stabler passing a few years ago. It's kind of heartwarming, and it's really, really cool.
There's been a couple of common threads that have run through my career. I've always played for somebody that I really admired and respected. I've had great coaches, and I've always been surrounded with good football teams. You have that tough love father figure in high school and this godlike figure in college, and playing for John was like playing for a golf partner or a drinking buddy or something. You just one up the guys.
Well, I was going to say, you talked about some of the things that Coach Bryant instilled in you. And what strikes me is I'm not sure a lot of the Raiders would have really fit in with Coach Bryant. So what was it like to be in that kind of atmosphere compared to the Alabama?
A blast, just a blast. You're so young when you're at Alabama and you're around Coach Bryant. He's, like I said, he's just this bigger than life figure. And I just stared at him all the time when he'd come through the locker room or come through the dorm or come through anywhere. I just kind of stared at him and watched him, the way he would handle people and stuff like that. And then to go play for John, he gave us all the room to do whatever we wanted to be.
Well, the Raiders had this persona that was unlike any other. What was it like being part of that group?
Only team in the league to travel with a bail bondsman. Just so much fun, characters, But there was the common thread, that team was full of a bunch of really fun-loving, free-spirited egomaniacs that were just really good people, though, good-hearted people, and very talented football players. That entire team was laced with talent in every area, and to be able to play that way with a great team, Play for a guy like John, who no rules, no codes, no hair codes, no dress codes, no curfew codes, no codes. Be on time and play hard. Be on time and play hard is all John ever said. So you play for somebody like that, and with that great team, what else can you ask for?
Did you have some late nights?
John put me in charge of curfew. See, I was the guy that had to try to get out there and get them all in, and
just being responsible.
Just being responsible team player, team guy, and trying to get those guys. No going home since. You couldn't get them to go home. But I'll tell you what they did do is they showed up at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and played, and that's all John ever asked.
There we go, man. So there's the legend
so
snake, man. Isn't that
awesome.
great, man? Yeah, so good stuff there from Kenny. All right, I got one more for you. Actually, I got about 18 more for you, but we're going to...
well, hey, we didn't mention... So did you see what Mark Davis did yesterday?
Talk about it.
Talk about that.
So Mark Davis lit the torch yesterday for John. He lit it for John and for Al because, they were the guys that instilled the mystique of the Raiders and stuff like that. So we lit it at 6 p.m. last night in honor of the first Monday Night Football game. That's
so cool. The original start time for Monday Night Football,
absolutely.
Right?
And so if you go on there, any of their social media, Raiders, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff, and you see a picture of Mark just like holding the trigger, and the thing just lights up like behind him, and he's at the podium or whatever.
Chills.
It gives you chills, man. It's way cool.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah,
that's legit. Well, so here at the end, Mosh, you got anything before I got playing this last clip, and then we'll
talk about what they did with the swag. Did you talk about that with the video?
The video feed in front of Allegiant
works.
Stadium? Yeah, they put a huge memoriam right there because Allegiant Stadium is so incredible. It's got the
that outdoor video
board thing and stuff. So you'll see highlights or whatever as you drive by sometimes. Well, they had this huge memoriam thing for John. Yeah,
Very
it was way cool.
All right, so I mentioned the life lessons early on that Coach taught us. My favorite all-time quote, and again using something that transcends out of sports into real life. My favorite quote from John Madden is this, and because I think this is applicable to real life.
Even jaunty John Madden, who won 100 games in 10 years, used some bizarre methods.
Now, I used to say something before a game, every game before we'd go out, and sometimes even at halftime before we go out, and I had no idea what it meant, but I heard it someplace, and it sounded like a pretty good idea. The last thing I'd say was, don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon. Then let's go. I have no idea what it meant, but some guys kind of got excited when I said it.
What's funny to me is that you hear like songwriters and stuff. They'll say like, I don't know, it's just a thing that popped into my head. I wrote down the lyric, but people take it and make it this whole big old giant thing. So there you go. So John just says, don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon. But to me, like I've always taken that as don't get paralysis by analysis. Like sometimes you just got to go. Sometimes you just got to load the wagon. It doesn't matter if the horse doesn't know where the hell it's going. You just got to hop on and ride, man.
Yep.
Like you just got to do it, man. And those kinds of those sentiments, man, again, those teaching moments from Coach Madden, that's what made him so incredibly special. And so we just want to celebrate the life of Coach Madden. Many condolences to the Madden family, of course. And, this was far beyond just a Raider loss. This was a loss for the entire sports landscape. And, so let's hit the button there and head to the Sea of Fans.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he throws. It is! He caught it!
All right, appreciate everybody joining us here tonight, live on Raiders Fan Radio. Everybody that's at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Swag Jeff, who's in the chat tonight?
Oh my gosh, Raider Loco, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Jason Thomas, GC's in there. Pirate 1975, Tyrone Graves. Let's see who else we got in here. Raiderborn Rico is in there. Paul is in there. Fabricator Gill, Ebony Graves, Tyrone Graves, Seattle Nick, Fargo Raider, Michelle Sweat. We got the whole crew, man.
Quentin Hood's in there.
Quentin
GC,
Hood, yeah.
You see that? Hey, we've gotten some super chats too. Do you mind calling those out?
Let's see. I'll try to scroll up as far as I can.
Okay.
Harbor 1975, $4.99 donation said, y'all ever play Olsen 21 on Atari? Just need one button.
That's good.
Yeah. Who else we got in there? Big Easy with a $10 donation. Godspeed, Coach Madden. Thanks for all the memories. Let's see. Tyrone Graves, rest in peace to legendary Hall of Fame coach Boom Madden. Raider Nation for life and beyond. Daniel Mangus, $9.99 donation. Getting choked up. Can I get a Raiders?
Raiders!
But we've raised $83 so far.
Let's
tonight.
go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
man.
Nice. Appreciate that. Appreciate all those super chats. And of course, 100% of that money goes to the One Nation Foundation, which is our nonprofit that we formed, and we give all that money out to Raiders related charities. And appreciate your very much your kindness and generosity around that. All right, so you can join all those people in the chat, as I mentioned on the YouTube, or you can contact us two other ways. You can call us at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. And if we play your message on the air 3 times, we will refer to you then as a made man or a made woman. And we've got a new made man to get to tonight. But also, we have an email address, and that is show@RaidersFanRadio.com. That's SHOW @RaidersFanRadio.com. And Uncle Mosh always reads those emails. And Uncle Mosh, who do we have tonight?
Well, so Ben Tupper, that was one that we didn't get to last week, right?
Ooh, yes. This will be fun.
Greetings, RFR Nation. I need to start by saying that I'm not an old school Raiders fan. In fact, I decided to get on board the silver and black train about the same time that they announced they were coming to my hometown of Las Vegas. As a rebellious teenager, I was repping Raiders gear in the mid-1980s, but that was more out of an affinity to Ice Cube than Al Davis. However, I can claim a little OG status with your podcast, as I have been listening to it long enough to remember when Swag Jeff had a much easier time going back into Raiders history and pinning episode numbers to jersey numbers of Raiders greats. Now that your episode count is in the hondos, I get a chuckle each week listening to him work complex mathematical contortions that require advanced graduate level calculus to find some sort of historic football relevance to the episode number 247.
Nice.
Little do they know that Swaggy's a mathematical genius, so
I know,
it'll
right?
always be there.
Yeah.
Anyways, when the Raiders came to town, I also had the good fortune of having one of the senior coaches move in next door to me. I will keep his identity secret for now, given he shares a lot of insider scoops with me. But suffice to say, his family has been awesome, and they are credited to the Raider Nation in all they do professionally, as well as in the community. They have also hooked me up with lots of unique swag issued just to staff and players and not for public sale. As such, when I go to games, I appear a lot cooler than I actually am. Nice to know people in high places, I guess. My wife and I have season's tickets, and I wanted to comment on your recent lamentations about how the Allegiant Stadium / Vegas Raiders experience is lacking certain things that you all miss from the olden golden days in Oakland, and how I see things in the unique context of Las Vegas. While I have attended lots of NFL games in my life, I never went to any games in Oakland or L.A. My wife and I first got introduced to Raider Nation when we went to see them play in Arizona about 3 years ago. She's from Japan, and it was her first NFL game ever. We had a blast. The Raiders had a miraculous comeback and won, but the finale was marred by one of the Raider fans who sat in front of us. He'd been pounding 22-ounce Estrella Jalisco beers all game, and apparently that beverage also acts as a stool softener and laxative, because he was so drunk he didn't realize he'd filled his pants with lots of brown stuff. It had soaked through his cargo shorts, and every time he stood up to cheer, my wife saw the swamp-ass stain had spread further and looked at me with fear in her eyes, and looked at me with fear in her eyes that every game in Vegas was going to also be a shit show. Well, as we know, many of the games in Vegas have been shit shows, but not because of beer squirts from drunk fans. Instead, they have been a mess because of the quality of play on the field, which, despite a good start, has been inconsistent and crappy as of late. And let the poopy vignette serve as my segue to why I think the crowds in Vegas are not flawed and have great potential to replace the crowds from Oakland. To show my evidence for this optimism, I would ask everyone to switch gears and look at hockey for a second. The Vegas Golden Knights come to town 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Vegas has minimal interest and history with hockey. There were minor league teams here and there, but I never met anyone who actually had gone to a game. At the start, the Golden Knights fan base was pretty lame and tame compared to where I am from New York State. The crowd was full of fashionistas who seemed more interested in taking selfies than pounding the glass and screaming at the refs. Yet something interesting happened, and it happened rather quickly. What happened was the Knights were winning. This hockey team was good. They made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in the first season. This had a huge impact on the crowd interest and intensity. I think we can all agree that if the Raiders were 10-3 at this point in the season instead of 6-7 and hadn't choked in front of the home crowd versus the Bears and the Bengals and what football team? There could be a lot more energy in the building. Winning is the elixir that makes people more excited to come to a game. Winning makes you more excited to cheer louder when the enemy is facing a third down and long. And most importantly, winning makes you more motivated to scream, F you! At some annoying Chiefs fans who were sitting in front of me. And oh, by the way, I may be new to the Raider Nation, but oh my God, those Kermit the Frog worshiping idiots are the worst fan base I have ever seen. Between their stupid borderline racist tomahawk chop to their corn-fed oversized women screaming at Kelsey that they want to marry him, I was ready to lose my PSL by chucking Modelo beers and pizza slices and popcorn buckets at the back of their heads. I digress. As you all currently stated, Vegas is a destination city. As such, the Raiders and the Golden Knights and the A's, when they also move here, are going to have a larger than normal share of visiting team fans in attendance. I say challenge accepted. I know from the Knights games there is always a huge contingent of visiting fans there, and they cheer loud. But when that happens, Knights fans have learned to scream louder and shut them down. Hell, at a recent game, a Knights fan ripped off her prosthetic leg and used it to smash annoying visiting fans. If that ain't Raider Nation, I don't know what is. Here's the link, NewYorkPost.com, 2021-11/29. Video, woman used her prosthetic leg in fight at NHL game. In closing, how many of our people in the chat are looking that up right now?
Yeah.
In closing, Raider Nation has to understand that for a large percentage of season ticket holders in Vegas, this is the first time they are going to NFL games on a regular basis. Give us time to learn more, see more, and get our own unique Sin City flavor into the mix. Vegas will never be Oakland, so don't expect it to be. Vegas is the best city in the country, and it will have a lot to offer the Raider Nation. I think we can all agree that it is more fun once you leave a game to be in Vegas than Oakland. So that fact should be factored into the equation of what the complete experience in Vegas will offer us as fans. Anyway, that's my 2 cents as a new fan and Vegas resident. Here is to 2020. A new season with a new head coach, a new QB, and kudos to Mark Davis for making some hard off-the-field decisions that in the long run were the right decisions to make for the integrity of the Raiders and its diverse fan base.
Nice job,
Ben Tupper.
Ben Tupper. Good job, Ben. All right, so I think that is a great email. I think that's a great firsthand account of what's going on in Vegas with Vegas Raider fan, because we only know Oakland Raider fan and we're visiting, so we only know what our experience is. So I can't pull back my comments from before because that was my experience and it was legit. But what I can do is hear Ben and say this, that I'm willing to trust that what he's saying will take root. And I can, Jeff, you're a big hockey guy.
Yeah.
And so he used the Golden Knights as an example. You and I are going to a game, the Nashville Predators. For those of you who don't know, we live outside of Middle Tennessee now. We're going to the Nashville Predators game on February 24th. It's a game where Pekka Rinne will be the first ever player to have his jersey retired by the Predators.
Yes.
You can't get a ticket. We scrubbed and to get a ticket. I remember, but that said, I remember back in the day going to Predators games, it was half filled with Blackhawks fans or Dallas Stars fans 100%. Or whatever. Now, though, it's a rarity that you see that.
Well, because the team's good.
Thank you. Pick up on that.
Because the team's good. When the team first started, You know, I mean, you know, it was just kind of a novelty. You know, oh, that's a fun thing to do in Nashville while you're there. You know, I mean, and, you know, Blackhawks fans, it's cheaper for them to fly down to Nashville, get a ticket, stay in a hotel, then fly back than it is to go to a game at United Center in Chicago, or, you know, or name any of the other places, any of the Canadian teams and stuff like that. So it was, you know, it was a touristy kind of place to go. But then the team got good. The team got good and went to the Stanley Cup Finals, and, you know, won a few division titles and stuff like that in our young history. And, you know, and so when the team's good, home fans will come.
So let's trust that what Ben is saying and what you just said about the Predators,
yes,
what we've seen even with the Titans here, and the reason I draw these parallels, and I know this isn't a show about Nashville sports, but what Nashville is unique and what has in common with Vegas is that it's a destination, very touristy driven city. Like, that's what drives the economy around here, is tourism at a lower scale than Vegas, but conceptually it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And so when you introduce a new team to a new market that's unique like that, because look, it's not like, you're not talking about moving a team to Seattle here. You're not talking about moving a team to San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a very touristy area. And so let's hope that the Raiders will find success on the field, and then it will drive those Raider fans.
When you put a good product on the field, people will come. Fans will come.
Amen.
The casual fan will come and wear their Raider gear and stop at the pro shop and get a hat and a jersey and stuff like that, you know. But when it's mediocre and you don't know what to expect, then it's going to leave all those empty seats for Chiefs fans and Charger fan and Washington fan and Bengals fans and all that stuff. So, you know, just win.
Just win. I'll give you one more quick point, and then Mosh, jump into the next email. Another point that that I'd like to make, that Ben didn't refer to it directly, but something unique. Also, again, talking about a new market, you got to get the kids. The kids got to grow up. Jeff, you grew up a Nashville Predators fan because you went to games when you were young. All that. You're talking about a new market like Vegas. The kids are rooting for the Cowboys or the Chiefs because they're good or whatever else.
Right.
You've got to get the young fans into the stadium, see the Raiders, fall in love with the team, and then as they grow up, then you establish a new fan base that way.
Well, and Raider Vic is in there. He said it's called bandwagon fans. Bandwagon fans. Yeah, well, you know, you jump the people on the bandwagon, but then they stay.
But then they stay.
Because it's, you know, it's Raider Nation, you know.
So those are the people selling their damn seats.
Get these casual fans in the building, see a good product on the field, and go, oh my gosh, this is my new favorite team. I love this.
Yeah.
You know?
Because who is it? Would you say it was Vic?
Yeah, Vic.
Because Vic, look, it's not going to be Oakland anymore, and I think that's what we got to embrace. We got to get, and look, it doesn't mean that we have to like every single little thing and all that kind of stuff. But there is a world where Vegas can be Vegas, Oakland could be Oakland, and neither one of them have to be bad. They're just going to be different. And so, anyways, hopefully we'll hope that it takes root. All right, Mosh, who do we got up next?
Hello, RFR family. Another ugly win on Sunday, but what did the Mavericks say? He said, "Just win, baby. We're not out of the playoffs, and while I truly believe our chances are slim in the playoffs, but as always the case this year, they are our bigger problems. We have lost an icon today. The great John Madden has passed away at the age of 85. My father showed me highlights of the Holy Roller, the Sea of Hands, and of course the Super Bowl. I knew who John Madden was long before I started playing the video game. I truly believe good for you. I truly believe the Raiders should rally behind Coach Madden and rally to the playoffs for Madden. Come on, Raiders. This is your time. Everyone is expecting you to fail. It's us versus the world. Tape into the Raiders of old." You should have wrote tap. Tap into the commitment to excellence. Tap into the pride and poise, the will to win, and tap into just win, baby. I will not talk draft or the next head coach until the end of the 2021 season. Come on, Raiders. Tell the NFL to go beep themselves by going to the playoffs. That's all. That's all. That's my take. Take care, Raider Nation. Yours truly, Matthew Mangus, proud made man, the potty mouth, 2020 Gemini Man winner, saltiest loser 2021.
Nice job. Nice job. Always love to hear from the Mangus boys.
Mangus boy. Good evening.
No, I know, but I mean both collective.
Yeah, there's only one. Hopefully this email finds you well after a busy Christmas schedule. The last few weeks I've had to start my email on a sad note, and it's happened again this week as the Raiders announced the sad passing of Bruce Davis. We didn't even mention that. I feel terrible.
Oh, right. Yes.
You want to hit on that when I'm done?
Sure.
I know these guys can't go on forever, but it stings when they go. So rest in peace, big guy. What a win that was against the Colorado Blowhards. The performance may not have set the pulse racing, but who cares? Just win, baby, is in its truest form. Anybody out there who thinks differently, then ask yourself this question. If we go on to win the next 6 games in the same way, will you care? I know we all want to see thrill-a-minute kick-ass football all the time, but that's not always possible, especially at this time of the season. We stopped the run and we ran the ball very well ourselves, controlling the clock in the process. I would have loved nothing more than to beat the mutation of an organization by 60 points, but knowing we won and almost certainly ruined Elway's Christmas is enough for me. I hope the oats in his nose bag tasted like shit, and the last thing he saw...
Paul, that's great.
Wait, it gets better. And the last thing he saw before his helpers closed the stable door was that lofted pass to Foster Moreau that killed the game. If we hadn't done our damnedest to help them with the 3 turnovers, the score wouldn't have been as close as it was. To limit them to 1 for 10 on 3rd downs, 8 first downs, and only 18 rushing yards was a thing of beauty. My MVPs for the game were Josh Jacobs, Max Crosby, and Desmond. With the exception of the fumble, Josh Jacobs was superb. He played angry, especially after the fumble, and he also seemed to be holding back a split second on his runs, which allowed the gap to develop for him. If he's finally coming into form, and if we can get Darren Waller back, the timing couldn't be any better. Max Crosby had another inspirational game. He never stops from first whistle to last. His passion and will to win are first class. With a depleted backfield, I thought Desmond played pretty well. He covered a lot of ground and always seemed to be on camera when the tackles were needed. His coverage was very impressive. I think the move from Corey Littleton to Diablo was important as well. Stats-wise, Diablo only had
Divine Diablo
only had 1 tackle, but his presence is being felt more. So keep him fit and keep him there. One thing that did make me smile was when the camera picked up Nathan Peterman taking reps on the sideline and putting his helmet on. I wish I had a collective photo of the nation's faces. I bet we all wanted Derek Carr then, didn't we? So, It's on to Indianapolis. I feel confident about beating the Chargers, but I have to admit this game at the Colts is already giving me sleepless nights. The closer we get to the playoffs, the more the nerves and anxiety will kick in, and they're a really good team at this minute. We're still making too many mistakes to feel totally confident in things, and as much as I want to be more upbeat, the fear of failure has hit me. I envy anybody who can sit calmly through a game. I'm a total lunatic, and I don't remember the last time I watched a game without standing up or pacing the room. Shouting at players, coaches, and officials on a TV screen as if they can hear me. It's total lunacy. But like a lot of others, that's what I do, and I'm the best head coach in the world for 3.5 hours every Sunday. The desire for these guys to succeed never weakens, does it? So on Sunday at 6 p.m. UK time, I'll be there again, popping antacids like sweet tarts and with coffee fixed to a drip. If I have one message for the players over the next 2 games, it's this. Whoever your God is or she is, choose to live out your dreams for us. So do your job and treat us well, because we're fragile things, really. Elsewhere in the league, the Washington football team took a slapping off the Cowboys and then started fighting each other on the sidelines. Is it me, or does Vic Fangio always look like a guy that's trusted a fart one time too many? CBS says,
never trust a fart, never pass a bathroom, Vic.
That's right. CBS has finally found someone that talks as much garbage as Gene Steratore. Like a boutique barber. How the hell did he ever become a player when he can't remember the names of players and where a team comes from?
Yes.
We're not the Oakland Raiders anymore. It's not Mason Crosby at defensive end. And when an illegal use of hands to the face penalty is called, check the replay on the monitor in front of you before disagreeing with it. Everybody else on the planet saw it, you fool. So, It's two more wins needed, Raider Nation. And despite my downbeat feelings about this Sunday, who knows what's going to happen? The form book goes out of the window at times like this, and COVID could still have a huge say in where the season is going to end. Hey, guys.
Hey, Paul.
This is an addendum. I've already sent my email for the week when I heard the news we'd lost Coach Madden. I had to send this edition to pay my respects in full. This is a devastating loss. We all know what he stands for in our history and the great legacy he's left the game in general. The tributes that he'll receive will all be well-deserved, and he'll forever be in our hearts and minds. Football has lost one of its greatest characters, but the Raiders have lost our greatest coach, who happened to be a wonderful man and a pure spirit. God bless you, Coach, and thank you. With love and sadness, Paul. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Egerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Pauly Award winner 2019, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, five-time plus one, winner of the Raiders Fan BRT Sizzler Award.
Nice.
Paul! 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 Claude! Claude! Claude!
Paul?
Paul! 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 Shit, Paul! Paul!
Paul, your name Paul?
Hello? Paul? Hello? Paul?
I met him with Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul!
Hi. I'm Paul.
Appreciate you, Paul, and appreciate the other emails that we got tonight. So Paul brought up the passing of Bruce Davis, and as Mosh said, shame on us for not honoring him and bringing that up earlier. Of course, Bruce Davis, legendary left tackle for the Raiders, played from 79 to 87 with the Raiders, and then also had a couple years with the Oilers after. But what's so unique about him and his career is that he came, remember that other guy that we have in the Hall of Fame that played over there? That was Art Shell. That was basically his mentor. You know what I mean? And it's really tough to take over for a legendary player, especially somebody who's an all-timer like Art Shell. And Bruce Davis stepped right into that role, and of course was a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Raiders. So much respect to him for his playing career. Condolences to his family, and thank you again, Paul, for bringing up the legendary career of Bruce Davis. We appreciate that. Speaking of legendary careers, every crew needs a captain, and when it comes to our voicemails, we have a leader of the crew. He is what we call the capo, and he is Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, and always kicks off this segment.
Greetings, I'm Murph, Thunderball, Sonny, Consigliere, Uncle Moss, Swag Jeff, Sergeant Arms, Big Raider Trucker, Ron the Mater Raider, Young Chili Dog from the Universe Speed, Spiderhead Nation. We're 8-7 again. We're the captains of our own playoffs fate. All I got to say is, just don't blow it. Now, kudos to Rod Marinelli for having the defensive line show up the past two games, stopping the run and pressuring the passes of the opposition. Now, kudos to Zay Jones and his 6 catches over the back-to-back victories. And congratulations need to go out to Kevin the Raider Nerd, who knocked me out of the RFR Fantasy Football League of Records by 3 measly points. And yes, I left about 29 points on the shelf with Damian. Well, I'm not even going to talk about it because it's too painful, but maybe the 4 silver linings. Tuesday, we lost a giant at age 85 years old. To a couple of generations, John Madden is perhaps best known for having his name as part of one of the most popular video games of all time. Madden was also well known for being a football commentator on Fox Sports and a pitch man, saying things like, boom, tough, fast, and tenactin for moist cats with itchy feet. But before all that, Madden was successfully a young, aspiring NFL coach. Madden was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders from 1969 to 78, going 103-32-7. His teams made the playoffs 8 of his 10 seasons as head coach, and he never had a losing record. Imagine that. I know our younger NFL fans can't even comprehend that because, friends like Big Raider Trucker, they've never seen the Raiders good for long. Now, he has more wins than any Raider coach in history, and that 759 winning record is most impressive. Most impressive. Now, the Raiders reached the AFC playoffs, AFC championship game, I should say, 6 times under Madden, winning it in 1976 and taking home the big ring. And they would have won more if it wasn't for those meddling Miami Dolphins or those mustard and cold-clad Pittsburgh Steelers. How you like that, Uncle Mosh? But Madden only had 3 rules, and you probably wouldn't, be surprised if you heard them, but here they go. 1, be on time. 2, pay attention. And 3, play like hell when I tell you to. That's all he read into that's all I really need to do. He was quoted as saying. So, that's the thing about Madden. He may have been a genius when it comes to studying film and game planning, but one of the greatest talents of his was to simplify things. I mean,
Amen.
He broke his coaching down to 3 easy rules. How many coaches these days can say that? And he left a commitment to excellence that holds, old heads like myself to refuse to let that type of Raider fan and just admiration go to this very day. And I feel sorry for the younger Raider nation. Madden was notorious for his fear of flying. You may have seen his bus cross the country whenever you were younger with various people from, pop culture and things of that nature. He was an ambassador, not just an ambassador of football, but ambassador for America to America. Think about that for a second. Yet Madden has booked his first-class flight on high, and now he sits beside the likes of Al Davis and so many other Lost Raider legends in Valhalla, looking down upon the nation. It is still haunting to hear Madden's cracked voice as he posthumously introduced Ken Stabler for induction into the Hall of Fame. May the current Raiders team take heed to play inspired football.
Let's go.
The remainder of this season of losses and restore the Raider mystique that a chubby, young, mercurial coach fought so long and hard to leave to us as older members of the nation. The hit list. Jackson Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Roger Goodell, and the NFL, who will probably screw us over this weekend at Indy. Win and wear, but it doesn't matter. Just win, baby. Jim Rowe, Mike Wilbon, Jason Whitlock, and Insurrections. Did I make the time? Brew.
Oh, man, I love it. That's the reason he's the leader of the crew, man. And I love that sentiment. Raiders, play inspired. Let's play inspired for Coach, man. Football's an emotional game. Like, we got 2 more to go, man. Take that emotion. Like, whatever your awareness is of John Madden and his influence over the Raiders and all of football, take that, put that on your shoulder, and, let that be a motivator for you. Let that be a chip to drive you, Raiders. That's an amazing sentiment, Capo, and thank you very, very much, as always, for your call. All right, we got a few more to get to tonight. We're going to kick it off with our good buddy. You hear us talk about him all the time. I can't believe this guy's not made yet. It's our buddy Trinidad.
You're killing me.
Yeah. So let's go.
What's up, Murph? This is Trinidad. We just came out of the game here in Las Vegas versus the Broncos. We whooped up on them. A little too close for comfort, but still we pulled it out. Playoff hopes are alive. Feeling great. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders, my friend. Absolutely. Good stuff there from Trinidad.
See you in 10 days.
We'll see you in 10 days and look forward to making Trinidad one of the next made men around here. Look forward to that. But before Trinidad, we have an official new member to the crew tonight.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he's made his 3rd call and a very impassioned call, and this is a great call. And we see him in the chat room all the time. It's our good buddy Storm, and congratulations on being the newest made man here in Raiders Fan Radio.
Hey, what's going on, Raider Nation? This is Storm from Astoria again, and I gotta say, first of all, before anything else, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Boxing Day. Whatever you celebrate, just make sure you come out and celebrate, because the Raiders just beat Denver.
Let's go!
4-0 versus them in the last 2 years. Oh, warms my heart. Warms my heart. It was a gutsy game, gritty game, for a time there, I had my doubts, but we came out with the Christmas Day, or Boxing Day, W. That's all that matters, really. Going forward, I don't want to think too much about going forward. I don't think this team is very good, not in sense of talent, but in terms of execution. This offense, specifically, I don't want to talk too much about Derek Carr, actually, but I will say he's doing his usual December trip, where he just tanks. In years past, this would have been a loss, because Derek Carr was bad and the offense was bad. But we have a defense for once. And they're not just like a collection of older guys, although we have some key veteran spots. Our young guys are stepping up. Did y'all see Divine Diablo out there looking nasty in coverage? Max Crosby, Keyshawn Nixon, young guy, depth guy, cornerback, big stop there. it's just been wonderful, really wonderful to see this team's defense come together. Honestly, I wonder sometimes if I'm even watching the Raiders. I've never had a defense in my entire life. It's just crazy. And at the end of the day, the Raiders gave themselves a chance going late into the year, into December. And honestly, that's probably the best Christmas present I could ever ask for. And you know what? I'll admit, that's kind of a little pathetic. But guess what? The Raiders have been a little pathetic, right? We just have a chance. Is it likely that we're going to make the playoffs? I don't know. Probably not. Is it likely that we sort of just ruined our last draft pick? Sure. But you know what? Damn it, let me enjoy a Christmas win and 4-0 versus the Broncos and some great development from our young guys. Honestly, just a banner day, a great win. Happy holidays, Raider Nation. That's what it's all about. Just one, baby.
Let's go, Storm.
Nice.
You are a made man. You showed you are part of the family by participation. By chance, a man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. Showing you are a friend of Raiders Fan Radio, you have leapt across the line. Friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than the government. It's almost equal to family. Be loyal. Made man, Raider fan. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this as a gift. And don't ever forget, words can hurt more, but silence can break hearts.
All right, once again, congratulations and welcome to the crew, Storm. Appreciate you. And so next up, we've got a guy that on a technicality and on lost documentation, there's a whole shredding incident that we had here in the fan cave. So Adam in San Diego, I think, is the only guy that's been made like 6 times or something. Anyway, so let's check in with our buddy Adam in San Diego.
Raiders! Yeah, baby. That's right. I mean, I know it's the Broncos, but woo! 2 more victories and we in the playoffs. And remember, we just watching. We can't be critiquing. We just there to enjoy the victory, enjoying football. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Nice job, Adam in San Diego. Appreciate you, man. I love to hear the passion after a win, man, especially a good one like that against the Donkeys. All right, next up, guys, we got a late call here that I was able to squeeze in. This is our good buddy Houston Raiders Steve.
Oh, nice.
Murph, Mosh, Swag, Jeff, Nation, Houston Raiders Steve. Dedicate my call to John Madden. Rest in peace, John Madden, and also Bruce Davis. John Madden says, if you think about it, I've never held a job in my life. I went from being an NFL player to a coach to a broadcaster. I haven't worked a day in my life. The other famous coach quote he had among many were, he said, don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon. He said that at halftime. That pumped up his team. He's out at Daly City, California, and he played at, he got drafted in the 21st round, pick number 244, I believe, by the Philadelphia Eagles. He blew out his other knee on the practice squad, never played professional football, but he learned a lot of great insight from the great coach Norm Van Brocklin. He was at San Diego State as the defensive coordinator, 67. He was picked by Al Davis to be the linebackers coach from 67 to 68. At the age of 32, he was the youngest head coach in the NFL at the time. And he coached from 1978, I believe. He was coach for 10 years. Anyway, his winning percentage was 759, which is the highest winning percentage by a head coach in NFL history, head of Lombardi. His record was 103. Got my notes here. Sorry about that. 103, 32, and 7. He had no losing seasons. He was an everyday man. Everybody could relate to John Madden. He was in the beer commercials. They had the game, the Madden game. He was a great broadcaster for 22 years with Pat Summerall. He's dearly missed. He was the first Raiders coach that I remember, probably same with Mosh. We'll all miss him and love him.
All right there. Nice sentiment there from our good buddy, Houston Raider Steve. We call him the Historian, and he's always bringing the facts and the Raiders history to us. We appreciate you, Houston Raider Steve. All right, we got 2 more to get to. Guy we hadn't heard from in a long time. And let me give you just a super brief history on this guy. It was so funny. So we heard calls from him the first couple times, and back when Cousin Sonny used to do the show, Cousin Sonny said, this guy sounds like he's like 6'6" and like lives in like the middle of nowhere and like saws logs with his bare hands. And sure enough, we found out the dude lives in Wyoming. He's 6'6", like 300 pounds, and saws logs in half for a living. Yeah, so let's welcome our good buddy, the Wyoming Raider.
Mosh, Murph, Swaggy, Capel, Nation, Wyoming Raider here. I haven't called in a long time because, your callers kept getting smarter than me, so I figured I would just sit back and enjoy the information and not put forward anything myself because everybody seemed like they was better at it than I was. Wanted to call about the donkey game because you know how much I like them donkeys. Walk the donkeys. Sorry about the wait.
Oh, wait, I missed that.
Then something happened today, and I want to just call in and just take a moment of silence for Coach. The guy was a legend at the end of an era. We're never going to get a coach like that again. Now that the moment of silence is over, I wanted to say one thing. I don't give a shit who you are on this team. Quarterback, towel boy. If you don't nut up for this next game, if Coach dying isn't enough motivation for you, then you don't deserve to wear the damn shield. You get off your ass, you leave your heart, your soul, your sweat, your tears. There better be blood on them uniforms and blood on the field.
Let's
Coach would have
go.
wanted it that way. Coach wouldn't have accepted anything less, and it's time we stop accepting less from these people that call themselves Raiders. If you want to wear that honored shield, then grow up, step up, man up, and show me the damn heart. That's all I got to say. Great show. Keep it up. Love you all. Raider Nation.
Let's go.
Let's go,
Wyoming
Wyo.
Raider. We love you too, man. Excellent. So good to hear from our buddy Wyoming Raider, man. That was epic. All right, so we got...
everyone was calling that the Murph bomb that he dropped.
I know. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how I missed that F-bomb, but they've been sneaking in all over the place on this show lately, man. All right, so we got one more to get to. So what we do at the end of the voicemails is that we award a Sizzler Award, which goes out to the best emailer or phone caller of the night, and that goes to Uncle Mosh. So let's check in with our very last call of the night before we get to that. And this is one of our favorites. Everybody's our favorite, but this is one of the ones that's one of our most unique callers. And I'll just tell you this: if you got lights and you can turn them down. If you got a candle, you can light. You got some incense, some aromatherapy, like get it fired up, and let's check.
MSR.
No, that's not what it is.
It's not what it is.
Sorry.
Let's check in with our buddy in the Canary Islands. He is Italian born, but most importantly, he is Raider born Rico.
Hey guys, Rico here. So just woke up and realized John Madden has passed away. And when we were talking about who is in our Mount Rushmore, I remember I said you John Madden was in it. John deserved a special place in this organization simply because Val Davis established the way that the Raiders have to be with the toughness, dedication, will to win, passion, the commitment to excellence we all know and embrace. Well, the guy to put all of this in practice and made it possible to happen. They put the franchise in the condition to win, and we're talking about not just a win, baby. We're talking about a win after win every Sunday, blowout wins we're talking about. The guy that put the franchise in the condition to win in the first Super Bowl was John. And without him, without the Raider style, without his game style that he takes during his career with the team, we will never win the other two Super Bowl. So he made this franchise the franchise we all love. When we talk about the Raiders' greatness, we all owe one to John Madden. Remember that. Without him, we won't talk about Raiders football right now. So thank you, big man. May you have a good trip, certainly with the train or with the plane, to the Olympus of the football gods. Now, I want to cheers to John Madden. I want to cheers, of course, to the Raiders. Hey, listen, Dan Bassis, if you want to win a one for John, well, you can win it.
Get him, Rico.
If you don't, well, it doesn't matter. But learn some histories. And I want to cheers about the years that have been passed and the years we have in front of us. May you have a badass present. And may you have a badass future. Happy New Year, Raider Nation. Cheers to all of you. I love you all. And I'm out. Another strong one.
Oh, I love the end of that.
That was great, man. Thank you so much, Rico. Big salute to you, my friend. And thank you for calling in and leaving us that message. And yeah, absolutely to everybody, man. Hope you had a nice toaster there with Rico. Uncle Mosh, who do we have for the Sizzler Award tonight?
Well, we had some great emails. Ben Tupper, Daniel Mangus, and Paul. They were all Paul. They were all right on the money. And then of course, Capo started off our voicemails, and he gave us a shout out to Coach, of course, and he talked about the 3 rules and how key they were to our success. Trinidad called from the game. He was feeling good about the win. Storm got made tonight, and he said that he's relishing in the win, and he basically said, I don't want to talk about the future. But he went ahead for 2.25 minutes and did it anyway. Adam in SD said, let's go. And then we had Wyoming Raider dropped a Murph bomb. Madden. He gave us it was a great job. He used some of his time for a Madden moment of silence.
That was nice.
And then he basically said, buck up, boys. Do it for the coach. And a few other things that absolutely cracked us up. Rico.
Who's that guy?
He's Rico's cousin. Anyway, he said that he offered us salute, a safe trip for John on the way to Olympus, and he wished us all a happy new year. But this end of the year show, because I have to work next week, so this is my last show for 2021.
Okay, there you go.
This time the Sizzler Award goes to
I am the Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler.
You know him, you love him. He cuts your wood. Wyoming Raider.
I am the Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Shit! I'm dying! So, Fargo Raiders says Richo sounds like a guy with common courtesy.
What did he say?
Richo sounds
Richo sounds like a guy with common courtesy.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's my glasses are way fogged. That was hilarious.
Oh my goodness! Why Murph tries to gain his composure?
Oh my gosh!
Congrats to Wyo Raider for getting tonight's Sizzler Award. Sheesh. And man, like I said, I won't be here next week.
Okay.
And I got to work, and we'll.
I don't think I will. Maybe yes.
And
I'll be here.
Yeah, and then after that, our next one will be right before we leave. No, that's next Wednesday's right before we leave. The next time I'll be here is after the San Diego game.
There you go. Maybe we'll do, since we're gonna be together in Vegas. Maybe we'll just do a little show there.
There you go.
We'll just do it since we're gonna have plenty of time. We'll do that, and then we won't have a Raiders Fan Radio proper that week. We'll just do it. We'll send some stuff up on the YouTubes and of course on the audio feed, and then we'll be back next week for sure. And appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Thank you so very, very much. Happy New Year to you. Be safe out there. Take care of one another. Love on each other, man. And look forward to watching the Raiders beat the crap out of the Colts on Sunday.
Hit the like button.
Hit that like button. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being back in the fan cave tonight. To the legendary Uncle Mosh, my best friend Swag Jeff. Swag Jeff, take us out.
Oh my gosh, and Tyrone Graves with another $5 donation said my email was a little too late, so I guess we'll catch him on
get him next week's
show. But thanks to everyone in the chat. Jason Thomas, Ron the Mater Raider holding it down. He killed all the bots tonight. There were so many. I don't know if it was the Indianapolis Colts fans putting bots into our chat or whatever it was, but he did a great job. Ebony Graves, Big Easy Running Bear, Lorenzo Quirez, let's see, James Farrell's in there, Raiderborn Rico, YO Raider, Seattle Nick, Michelle Sweat, Storm, congrats on your Sizzler. We raised $115 tonight.
Let's go,
for the One Nation Foundation. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Schmucky the Raider Bear says, I'm slipping in just in time to say goodbye. Yes, you did, pal. Uncle Mosh, take us home.
Thanks for listening tonight, everybody. Man, what a night. What a year, 2021. Tonight, you've been listening to Murph, my old buddy Swaggy J. We've been here on Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Remember, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Adios, malingerers. Don't worry about the horse being blind. Just load the damn wagon. John Madden, R.I.P.
Good night, Raider Nation.
Good night, everybody. God bless.
Don't DM girls if you have a wife.